Thank you for joining the professor. This is another episode that I'm doing focusing on how the Ponzi scheme LSSC, unlike other Ponzi scheme, solely targeted the African immigrant community. Now, I have made several videos about Ponzi scheme, and LSSC was not the first one. Certainly, it's not going to be the last one. But what I want to be able to do is sort of educate the immigrant community, especially Haitian people from Kenya. There are a lot of Kenyans and Nigerians that I've spoken to in the last few weeks who falls victim of Ponzi scheme. First of all, the LSSC Ponzi scheme was somewhat a little different than let's say Novatech or MiniFX. And the reason for is simply because there were certain specific people you can target. Now, doing all the investigation that I've conducted so far to this day, and today is August 8th, 2025. The we have conducted I have conducted some preliminary investigation trying to figure out exactly where the responsible party, the criminals, where they are. And it looks to me that they have tried to cover their track very well, make it harder to sort of track the IP address. You see, when you use a computer, there's an IP address, and there are ways to be able to figure out which country the person is located or the persons are located, and try to pinpoint that location. Now, for LSSC, it was very different. It doesn't mean we can't find who they are. It doesn't mean we can find where they are. We're going to find them. We're going to find sort of the mastermind behind the LSSC Ponzi scheme. What I find amazing is how many people, and basically, it seemed to me that 95% to almost 98% of the victims, of the people that are victimized by this particular scheme, were or are from the African immigrant community. There are a lot of people from Haiti, from let's say from Miami, New York, um, Houston, Texas, Boston, New Jersey. A lot of Haitian people, especially nurses, cab drivers, they all have somewhat fell victim of this particular Ponzi scheme. And one of the things I try to understand is sort of ask people, what is it about this particular Ponzi scheme that was so attractive? What is it about it that they wanted to sort of invest their money? And I think that people that I've spoken to, I'll give you an example. I spoke to a young woman from Nigeria, and who lives, in an office. I don't necessarily want to say which country or state, but what she said to me was, she said a friend of hers and basically introduced her to LSSC, and she was convincing her that it's a good way to make extra money because obviously she was a teacher. She doesn't work during the summertime, so she thought that, hey, listen, I'm gonna take whatever saving that I have and put it into this particular investment, and thinking that I'm gonna get the money back. Now, she didn't get the money. She lost about $25,000 of her saving, money that she was saving to buy a house. She has kids in school. She's a teacher. Her husband is a teacher. They don't make that much money. It was just enough money for them to live on, money to save, probably to buy a house. So they lost all of it. Now, here's what I want people to understand, especially from the African immigrant community. There is no way for you to become rich quick. It doesn't mean you cannot make money. It doesn't mean that there aren't good investment. There are good investment out there. But investment by its nature take time. That's what they call it investment. You invest money, you wait to make money. So, and I'm going to give you different examples so you understand. When a friend comes to you and say, I am doing this business and I'm making money, they paying me $100 a day, and it is this, it is that. So obviously I can understand why someone would say, oh my God, you're making this money, I want to make money too. Because I know of a Kenyan woman who lives in the west coast of the United States, and she had been calling some people that I know to sort of invite them to invest in the scooter company. And of course, I'm there listening to the conversation, and I'm telling my friend, ask her who's behind it, who's the person in charge. She said, oh no, there is no person in charge. It is an app that you go to the app and you do everything else. Okay. So, which was very funny to me because I know that, and I don't understand why people do it. I know in my community, a Haitian person wouldn't give you money if he didn't know where the money was going. But obviously, some of them feel comfortable enough to be able to send their money to some, to some person that they don't even know via an app and expect to get the money back. Now, guys, I want you to understand this. When a Ponzi scheme start, let's say I start a Ponzi scheme today. I call a few people and I say, hey guys, you all want to make money? And they said yes. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sort of market this thing, letting people know that we're going to pay them, and we're going to have a whole bunch of people on the ground floor sort of invest with us. Now, the people who invested, like the first few weeks or few months that the Ponzi scheme started, let's say these people come in and they put in amount between themselves, let's say $1 million. Now, these people, they're not going to be able to take that money out. And most of them, sometimes they know it's a Ponzi scheme. So what they go is they said, okay, I'm going to invest, let's say 10,000, 20,000. And I'm going to go out and recruited 200 people to invest, let's say 5,000 each. So you multiply 5,000 by 200 people, you get a pretty, you get almost $2 million. That's a lot of money. Now that money is being used to pay the people who started the Ponzi scheme, to sort of the people who started it. Now, when you come in, you put your money. The money itself is not being invested anywhere. It's not like, for example, somebody says, give me your money, I'm going to buy a piece of property, then I'm going to start a business in it, the business is going to pay rent, and every month somebody's going to get a little percentage of what we make. No. Ponzi schemers, they know that people are greedy. They know that people are ill-informed. They know that people don't have the information. So this is the reason why they targeted the African immigrant community, because a lot of people don't understand how investment works. Somebody comes to them, they say something, and they do it. So the initial people who started, they go out and work with all these people. The people basically bring all this money in, so they make money. For example, in the MNEFX Ponzi scheme, I know a particular doctor who, at the beginning of the Ponzi scheme, he put in $300,000. Okay, then he goes out and we recruit a whole bunch of people, telling everybody you got to invest. He was telling me I had to invest, and I'm like, no, this is a Ponzi scheme, because they can show me where the money is being invested, and even if they were to be able to show me where the money is being invested, return on investment is not something that I can sit here and say, give me $5,000. I'm going to go out there and I would guarantee you, 10% return, 20% return. I don't know what the return would be. Depends on how the market plays out. So anytime somebody promise you a return like that, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a fraud. So this doctor goes in and basically made $1.2 million. Okay. So he made all his, he made 4 times his money. Okay. He made 4 times his money, but he comes early in the background, in the ground floor, when there was nothing. He put in his money. and he was able to bring people in to put their money. Then he withdraw, more than he actually invested. So the people who comes after him now are gonna have to go out and recruit other people to come in and put money so that the second group can get paid. Now, here's the problem. Ponzi scheme always, 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 always fail. They're going to collapse because what happened is not only that it's illegal, it's fraudulent because people have to lie to you. They have to lie to you about investment. They have to lie to you about the return on investment. They have to lie to you about selling you a dream, saying you're going to get rich, your family is going to be rich, and then that the people who do not want you to invest or the people who are warning you against the fraud, those are the haters, those are the people who don't want you to be rich. And that's how they sell it to you. And normally when people are invested, anytime you see somebody's trying to sell you something or they're trying to get you to invest, and the first thing is they show you shiny car or beautiful houses, or they're on vacation. They have a YouTube video showing them living life large and having fun. You know that this is a Ponzi scheme because real investment, does not require all that. Real investment is you invest, you take your time, it takes years for you to make money. You don't make money, you don't invest today and tomorrow, next week, or the week after, or next month, all of a sudden you're rich. So I want my immigrant community, if you are from Kenya, if you are from Haiti, if you are from Nigeria, if you are from Malawi, Rwanda, any of the African countries, there are criminals all over the world. And they understand that because, and I'm going to tell you how they work. They understand that our communities are easy target. And they're going to target our community. They're going to come after you. They're going to offer you riches. They're going to tell you you're going to be a millionaire. And I am begging you, if you are watching this video and you are from an African, you are part of our African immigrant community, I want you to share this video with your friend. Do not invest money with anyone who is telling you in the computer or in person that they're going to make you rich, that they're going to give you $100 a day or $200 a day, or they're going to promise you 10% a day or 15% a day. Like I've said to people, it is not easy to make money. It takes a long time for you to make money on investment. And that type of investment is always, always, always bad. Now, 20, 30 years ago, we don't have AI, we didn't have the computer the way we have, we didn't have social media. So it was hard for people to sort of commit this fraud. Now somebody could sit in Estonia in their basement in Russia or any other country, in China or in Hong Kong, and study the fraud. And within a few days, the fraud is all over the world because now people think that somehow they're going to make a lot of money. Now, here's what's going on now with LSSC. The website is down, the company is gone, your money is basically gone somewhere. And it's going to take a lot of investigation to locate the people who were behind it, to locate where the money, what Bitcoin account and somewhere in the world where your money may be. And it's not going to happen right away. I know people tend to think just because a lawyer filed a lawsuit, we're trying to find the culpable parties, and somehow within a year, everything's going to be fine. It is not. It is not going to happen quick. You certainly have an opportunity to try to recoup some of your money. You're never going to recoup all your money. You might be able to recoup some of your money. Now, the FBI, I have spoken to the FBI, and I have explained to them what I've heard from a lot of different people who invested. I'm sure that they are hopefully going to investigate LSSC. So what the fraudsters are doing now, they started a new company called Andes, 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 Andes. And they're trying to go back to people to say to people that, hey, if you want your money from LSSC, you need to verify your account with us. And you need to pay us money to be able to verify your account with another company. So in other words, they changed the name from LSSC to Endis. Do not give money to any company, to Endis, or any company who promised to get your money to verify the account. Because remember, guys, this is an old game that's been around for a very long time. In 2015, Cynthia Patron from Novatech was running the scheme, was running a scheme. Then she left that scheme and then goes to Novatech. But they were telling people the same thing, or something happened to our computers, computers crash, or somebody get to it. In order for us to validate it, you have to go here, you have to put more money in. Why would you put money, give money to the same people who defrauded you? Why on earth would you do that? So obviously it doesn't make sense. Please don't do it. And it is just the way they do it. They committed one fraud. They got massive amount of money. I'm talking about millions, sometimes billions of dollars on the fraud. And then they come around now and tell people, hey, listen, guys, if you want your money back, give me some more money. It's just stupid. Now, I want every single person, especially immigrant, please to hear me very clearly. They are crime syndicates. What I mean by that, they are groups of people around the world whose job every day for 10, 12 hours a day is to push to commit this fraud. And they do it via computer. And I'll tell you right now, I have worked with one of the best investigators in the world from Australia, from London, from the United States. Some of these guys are former, former FBI, CIA, MI5, MI6, Mossad, and all that. They are great. And they're telling you that law enforcement agencies are having problems staying ahead of those fraudulent guys because it's so easy to commit fraud. Now, when somebody come to you, a friend come to you, or a family member comes to you and offer you something and telling you, I'm making all this money, you should come to and make money, I want you to know that it's never that way. It's always going to be fraud, period. Okay, anytime you get an offer like that, it's bad. Now, if you know it's a fraud and you decided anyway to invest your money, then if you lose your money, nobody wants to hear you complain. But for people, especially the people who actually sort of in the end of the game, are the people who actually really believe that somehow they're gonna make some money and they end up losing their money. So this weekend, I'm going to have a live show with a Kenyan attorney, a young lady who's from Kenya. She's an attorney practicing in Seattle, Washington. So she's going to be on the professor to talk a little bit about what her experience has been with her own Kenyan community, because there are a lot of Kenyans in Seattle and the state of Washington, in Dallas and Texas, and unfortunately, thousands and thousands of them have been victim of the Ponzi scheme. So I want people to watch my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, because my job is to educate the community about how to avoid Ponzi scheme. And if any companies come, and I did the same thing when people were calling me about LSSC, this was a year ago. I went in, I investigated, and I quickly said, based on my investigation, it was a Ponzi scheme. I had no doubt that it was a Ponzi scheme, because a real company, you would know where they're located, you would know who are the CEO, the CFO, who are the people in charge, and they would operate like a real company. Anytime you see there's no transparency in something, you can't figure it out, or somebody's telling you, oh, I was appointed by so and so. For example, there's this guy came named Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon was sort of the face of LSSC, but it doesn't seem like he's the one who started this. He might have taken advantage of it, but it doesn't seem like he was, he was the one who started. He might have even make a lot of money, but it doesn't seem like he was sort of behind it or started it. I think this was way bigger than him. I'm not defending him. I don't know the guy. I'm just telling you what my investigation revealed. But you have to be careful because many of us who came from Africa, came from the Caribbean, came to the United States. We came here for a reason. We came to work, to make money, to better our lives, better our family. Some of us had the opportunity to go to school and did, and obviously accomplish great things. So it hurts me and it pains me to my heart when I see a woman with 2, 3 kids working hard as a nurse's aide or working hard as a CNA or even a nurse, telling me about how much money she lost because she thought she was going to make a lot of money. So please be careful. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like I said before, I don't care who come to you and make you the offer. You have to ask the proper question. What is this company is about? Where is this company located? Who's behind the company? What track record do they have? How many people have been involved in the company? How many people have made money? How much money? Where's the money coming from? Are they licensed in the United States or in another country? What is it that they're selling? What is the basic premise of the business? What is it that they're selling? In the case of LSSC, they were telling people that, oh yeah, we got all these scooters around the world. You can invest and then people rent the scooter and we got the money back and then that's how you get it. Now, even if that was true, even if this was true, there was no way this was going to be able to give you the sort of return that people were talking about. So you have to be very careful. And like I said, it is okay not to know something. It's not a crime not to know. I think what is a crime is when you don't want to know. And I think that you can ask questions to people that you who knows. You can question things. Don't be afraid to question things. And I think that's the problem we have in our community is that somehow we've been brought not to question authority or to question things because people might think you don't trust them. But the professor says you have to trust everything. So thank you so much for watching another episode of The Professor. I will be back tomorrow with attorney Julia Kiyama from the great state of Washington, city of Seattle, who's going to talk about a little bit about the Kenyan community and how many people got deported and how much money they lost. Again, thank you. See you later.